People are running down the street in every different direction and screaming. It was exactly that. So the movie's got it wrong. It was exactly that. We get to her office. Her office was about a 5-minute run away. Get to her office, and she explains to me what's happened. And then, like most folks, we're like, we're going to watch it on TV. See what's happening on TV. She didn't have a TV out in the office. They had to go in the closet, and they had to pull the TV out of the closet. It's 2001, so they get the bunny ears, getting the picture going and stuff like that. So we get the picture, and we're looking out the window, and her office is up on the 18th floor. I can actually see the World Trade Center site from her office. So I can see it. And at that point, it was just a big cone of smoke. The buildings had already closed. And I'm looking at TV, and it's a big cone of smoke on TV. It was the exact same image I'm seeing out the window as I'm seeing on TV. Again, very eerie. Then we wanted to go back home, but they shut down all of the entrances and exits from the city. So all the roadways were closed, all the tunnels, the bridges, and the trains were all shut down. The only way on or off the island, you were allowed to walk off the island if you wanted, or you were allowed to take a boat off the island. And there were ferry boats trying to rescue people off the island and stuff. Where I lived in Brooklyn was about 10 miles away from my mother's office, or about 12 kilometers or so. So we were like, we're not going to walk. We'll sleep here in the office, figure out what's going on the next day. They turned the trains on, and at 8:30 that evening, we decide to go take the train back. I've never been on such a solemn train. No one was saying a word. No one was making eye contact. And I was 13, so I was looking around. I remember looking around. I was trying to gauge what's happening. And people were looking at their feet, looking at their hands. Everyone's just trying to process what had happened. And I was too young to be able to process. Remember that 9/11 was on, one thing I forgot. We get back to Brooklyn. All over the ground in my neighborhood were all these pieces of paper, burnt pieces of paper. And I picked one of them up and looked at it, and the letterhead, World Trade Center. It was stationary from the towers. It had blown that many miles over the building. Someone asked, do you have any of it still? I go, no, I didn't. I didn't think to pick it up. I mean, I just picked it up, scared, and put it back there. Now, if you remember 9/11 was on a Tuesday. They gave us off from school on the Wednesday. Thursday we go back to school. So we had one day off. And they didn't talk to us about it. No therapy, they didn't bring us into the auditorium, they didn't say anything. Everybody sort of tried to go back to business. It was anything but business as usual. Now, the thing that to me is the most vivid image I have from around that time is right after 9/11 in the city, we had a military occupation. Now again, it was our own military occupying the city, right? But still, every single day, jets overhead, tanks rolling down the street, soldiers going down the road. Not like Fleet Week where the guys are all hanging out in the hot dogs. Everyone's, at attention. And they set up barbed wire checkpoints throughout the city. If you lived in an area, you had to go past a barbed wire checkpoint to get into it. They set up one of those barbed wire checkpoints on 14th Street. My school was on 20th Street. They used to let us out for lunch at my school. So in middle school, we were allowed to go into the neighborhood and we would eat lunch in the neighborhood. Buy pizza, Chinese, or something like that. I used to get hot dogs right across the road from the checkpoint. So, to give you more context, I was 13, I tried to sneak through the barbed wire checkpoint to get hot dogs. Yeah, and I still remember that. And I went, and I'm like, I'm skinny, and there's barbed wire, and I'm like trying to squeeze in the barbed wire, right? And I'm on 14th, and the hot dog place is right across the street. And there's a guy on the tank, and he's on the machine gun in the back of the tank.
Oh.
Yeah, and he looks down at me, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm hungry. I'm getting hot dogs." No big deal. No big deal. Right? And he's like, "Do you live down here? Because if you lived in that area, you could show ID and you could go down there." And I said, No, I live in Brooklyn. I live across the way." And he goes, "Well, you can't go down here. Downtown's closed." He's like, "Get out of here, kid." And I still remember walking away in shame. I was a kid. I didn't realize what I'd done. And he was so angry. He was like, and I'm like, and I just remember this amount of shame I felt for getting screamed at by a guy in a tank on 14th Street. So I never forget.